Picture an idea in your head. You finally get that report that you've been waiting hours upon hours for. Your heart starts to beat violently in your chest, and your mind is in a whirl. Sweat starts to pour down your face, and all you can think about now is, how did I do this term? You open it, and there it is, the sorrowful, dreadful, and scary anomaly in bright, bold pen. A fail. A big, fat fail. It's absolutely insane how a single word can almost feel like the entire world is over. All you can think about now is how you're part of the millions of people who categorize themselves into the term failure. The first time I ever got a grade that did not meet my parents' caliber was in year 4, when I got a 15/20 in my Mandarin test. Now that I'm older, more mature, and wiser, I now know that a 15/20 is in no way, shape, or form failure. But to 9-year-old Yimika, it was the worst possible score ever. Tears started to run down my cheeks, and I started sobbing, or in fact, wailing over my perfectly okay score. And why was that? It was because I felt like I was a disappointment in the eyes of my parents. And I think we all know African parents. Your mates got 20/20. Do they have 2 heads? Your friends are all getting A stars. Why can't you do the same? After that day, I vowed to myself to never feel that same horrendous feeling ever again. That was until 12/11/23. The day I got the worst results I had ever gotten since I started school. And while hopefully it remains that way, it was honestly a huge learning experience for me. Due to how much I had been anticipating this report, I actually took my mother's phone and refreshed, up until it finally came up. Ogoluwa Yimika's 2023 Christmas term report. I eagerly opened it, having some spark of hope that I could actually manage an A star, or I could just have an A, or I settle for an A+. But as they say, the hit of reality often hits like a brick wall. Because once I saw my score, I honestly couldn't help but feel like an absolute waste. The temptation to delete the report from my parents' phone lingered on my fingers for hours. I had hoped that the report would just magically hide itself behind all the other emails, never to be seen by human eyes again, never emerging from the depths of where it came from, never to be there to remind me, Yimika, of the time I thought I had failed. I'm sure you can all guess what must have happened next, because long story short, thinking that the report would suddenly magically avert the eyes of my parents, I was completely and very wrong. Because the next day, my mother walked into the guest room of my aunt and uncle's house, and she revealed to me that she had actually seen it. We sat down and had a long talk about it, and she said these words to me that honestly did more to me than she could have ever imagined. She said, "Try your best. Just try harder next time." I went from feeling absolutely embarrassed to feeling not only motivated, but like I could actually do it. Why stay on the floor groveling about grades of the past, I thought, when I can get back up and try harder than I ever have before? Roy T. Bennett once said, "The one who falls and gets back up is stronger than the one that never tried before." This quote can teach us all a valuable lesson. Failure is never the end. You can always get back up and try again. In my case, I felt low. I felt like everything I had achieved in the past was immediately obsolete, but I was just wrong, completely wrong. Just like people say, if you fall, get back up and try again. Failure is not the end. Failure is not a way to bring you down, but it's actually a way to motivate you and help you work harder than you ever had, strengthen the mind and the soul, and to give you the confidence that you haven't had before, which we all can do. Lastly, if there's anything that you could take away from this talk, I truly, truly, truly do hope. That is the confidence and the knowledge that you can do it. I want you all to raise your right hand and put it on your chest and tell yourselves, I can do it. Because if I can do it, you all can do it too. If you might fall, yes. You might fail, yes. But when you get back up and try harder than you ever had before, your life will be changed forever. Thank you.